What if I told you the God of the Old Testament was an evil, false God, and Jesus was sent to liberate us from him? Well, that's what this early sect of Christianity known as Gnosticism believed. And it's revealed in these texts known as the Nag Hammadi Library. And I personally have now found my spirituality within these texts, and I will explain what is within these texts. So it reveals that the God of the Old Testament is not the true God. The true God is really a truly omnipresent God who emanates, who emanates all things, he emanates all things and all things reside in him. And these beings called archaeons, emanate from him as well. But one aeon, went rogue, Sophia, and she gave birth to another aeon called the Demiurge. And this Demiurge created our world out of the fullness of out of the fullness of God. Notice how it's still made of the material of God. So it's very much a monistic philosophy. So the Demiurge creates this flawed world. He imposes tyrannical laws. So thus Jesus is sent to thus liberate man from him. And thus he is crucified for this. But you can achieve gnosis or divine knowledge through the esoteric understanding of his teachings. And also by living a virtuous life and all that. And also asceticism. So just follow Christ's teachings and achieve gnosis, and you will, do all that. So notice the more emphasis on Christ's teaching rather than his crucifixion. You can see why the church heavily persecuted this when it became a more formalized institution under the Romans. But yeah, it's very much, I do find my spirituality in this, and I consider myself a Valentinian Gnostic. There was some divergence within Gnostic sects, like Valentinianism, which is the specific sect I belong to, didn't necessarily depict the Demiurge as pure evil. Like, it depicted the Demiurge as the Old Testament God and creator of the material world, and separate from the one, the true God, and the source of all the universe, and the true source of all the universe and all that is beyond it, as the Demiurge merely tuned the universe into his own flawed image, still ultimately made from God. It's all made from the matter of the one. Basically, like the Demiurge created the world, made it was flawed, and imposed these tyrannical laws, but he didn't do it in ill-intentioned. He wasn't a malevolent force. That's the Valentinian position, the one I hold. Yeah, that's my religion. But for Gnostic texts from the Nag Hammadi Library, I recommend the Gospel of Thomas, the Apocryphon of John, and the Tripartite Tractate. Those are 3 texts that will pretty much get you familiar with Gnostic theology, even though they're from 3 separate, sects of Gnosticism: the Thomasine sect, the Sethian sect, and the Valentine sect, even though in real antiquity these sects kind of overlapped.